Hi, everybody. My name is Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. Under 15 most every day, some days even under 10. Yes, indeed. Well, here we are today, and it's Monday, and it is July 16th. So, you had a messy Monday this summer? Are you on a trapeze and walking that tightrope of like it's due, it could come? We don't want you to have any messy Mondays, right? Messy Mondays are when things happen over the weekend and your mental discipline slowly goes away, and before you know it, you are in trouble. Why are you in trouble? Because maybe you went someplace on vacation, or maybe some people came and are staying at your house, and they come like Thursday night. And so Thursday night, there might be adult beverages, there might be a late dinner, and you are totally screwed up. If you're like me, you probably have worked into having that luxury of pretty much defining what and when you're going to eat. Like you've got your family's gotten used to you doing your keto. Maybe they've even joined you. Like in my case, Greg and I will have our OMAD usually between 2 and 4 every night, every afternoon, and then we are set to go. And of course, if we had to deal with company or go be company, we would be totally screwed up because most people don't keep our schedule, right? And so we would have to eat at a later hour, and it would be crazy, and there'd just all the temptations there, too much food. I'm ready to go to bed when most people are sitting down to eat dinner. It's crazy. And so messy Mondays can occur. So say you've got your company coming in, it's Thursday night, you've made some nice things for them, and you're all excited and ready to have, adult conversations and catch up and all that kind of stuff and pictures and this and that. And it just gets a little bit messy. And then comes Friday, and you're going to go shopping together, or farmers markets or things like that, where you're going to be pulling in food that you want to be cooking for the weekend. Perhaps a cookout is planned. Maybe you're going out to dinner. Maybe something like a pizza on Saturday night, and Sunday will be the big cookout. All kinds of things can happen. Your entire schedule can be thrown off, right? Suddenly, everything just gets a little bit not wonky in a bad sense, but it's just when you have company, and it gets changed. And some of us, like me, are don't do change well when it comes to food and eating times. I'm like a baby, right? You better feed me. And so you need to be very mindful of what you can expect of yourself as a keto person, especially if you're OMAD. Sometimes you could be a two mad, 2 meals a day, and even that might take some, doing, because I know that a lot of people, at least I see it on here on the Cape, and I used to work in breakfast places where, going out to eat in the morning and getting like a real big breakfast inside of you before you go tackle the day of things like beaching and boating and hiking and all the different things that you might do. And so, the standard American way of doing it is to get in that good breakfast, and so then you can, be powered through the day. And when I worked in the breakfast places, that's what we had platters this big, and all the typical breakfast things and all the fancy, funny names like hollow leg. And I remember it was like, it just included everything, all the carby starches that you imagine, and the eggs, and then fruits on top of that. And oh my God, it was like a hollow leg, right? And so all that kind of stuff. And for some people, it just invites the addiction. I'm one of those that once I eat, I want to keep eating. hmm And so if I went back to my 3 meals a day, I remember I would eat breakfast, and then 2 hours later, I'm ready for lunch. And then, 2 hours after that, I'm ready for dinner, and we haven't even cracked midnight, noontime yet, right? So you need to be careful. Messy Mondays, it just happens. It slips, it slides, and your resolve kind of gets watered down or completely washed down the road and with a flood. And so it's over, and we don't want to see messy Mondays like that. Messy Mondays are more like a colder weather thing because there's so many cookouts and parties that you could be going to every night of the week. So a messy Monday really is just a saying, because you could have a huge party that you go to on a Wednesday, and so it could be a messy Thursday. So how do you take care of yourself in a situation like this? The old way, before I went keto, it was like have an apple with cheese or peanut butter at like 4 before you go to your party. That's a dinner party, so then you don't overindulge when you're there because your stomach has a little something something in it. And so, maybe that worked. Maybe that worked for you. Maybe it worked for me. I don't remember. I am so acclimated to my one meal a day. I might do something crazy like have my one meal a day between 2 and 4 and say they weren't planning anything until later that night and just drink my bubbly mineral water throughout the whole event. I don't know. I know it would throw off my metabolism and my constitution. The next day I would be just feeling different because I screwed up with things like that. I don't want to do things like that. I guess I've become acclimated. How would you people handle it? And I don't want to get into standard American diet fare. So I truly don't want a messy Monday. And is it worth it? Is it worth it to you to be around people that are eating in that normal way and you've had a pretty good discipline regimen that you've been able to just take care of yourself, or you and your husband, or your family just looks the other way and says, oh, that's just mom, that's just how she is. So you've been able to do it. I don't know. I mean, to me, it would be a struggle to be around people that just ate in that standard American diet, summer holiday kind of fashion. I think I'd be leaning on people that would help me, that understood food and food addiction and just the triggers and the cravings and how everything gets set up. I don't want to see you in trouble. And so, if you're coming to me today, as you watch this on Monday, July 16th, and you had a wobbly weekend, I think it's probably better to get it up and out. And maybe there's some people here that could comment, if you're struggling with it and getting back on track. If you stayed keto and maybe just ate too much, too often, well, it is what it is. I think the danger might come if you ate too much of the wrong thing or maybe drank too much of the wrong thing. To me, I get in trouble. It's like I haven't slipped up since I've been keto, but, I probably have eaten too much protein sometimes when faced with something, that's out of my realm of control, so to speak. But I know that when I was in my food addiction with the standard American diet, one meal I could rally from, I could come out of pretty good. I ate too much, maybe not eat breakfast or something like that, or a lighter breakfast, lighter lunch, just somehow managing it. Not that I was, successful as a standard American dieter, but the trouble for me would come when I had treats, like say on a Friday, and then Saturday came and there was more opportunity for more treats, and then Sunday. So I started having slippery days, kind of linked day to day to day, and it would get me into trouble. And it's kind of hard to back out of that after you've done a few of those days of eating too much, drinking too much, the wrong types of foods, foods more often. That's how I used to roll. And so I'm very familiar with how it used to feel. But, if you're watching me today and you're having technically a messy Monday from being around company or being company or going to an event, like look at weddings today. They're like 2 or 3 day events, and every single one of them has a food reason, right? There's the wedding rehearsal dinner, then there's the wedding, or maybe there's the brunch before the wedding, or then maybe there's the wedding and the dinner, and then after that, I've been to weddings recently where at midnight there's another buffet and spread, like you just didn't eat and drink enough at the, the evening wedding. And then the next day there's a brunch where the family goes out together. If the bride and groom are still around, they go too. And then, it's just constant. And I don't know what to tell you. It's just when we're presented with so many food events, today to me doing OMAD and keto, for as long as I've done it, which is close to 3 or 4 years, I'm not even sure, maybe 5. I'm not sure. I can't remember. I know I was low carb, high fat before that without grains or sugars, and I don't drink. So there was like a good amount of time with that. And I just had things like baked potatoes or sweet potatoes. And now I've been, with my carbs under 20 total for 2 or 3 years, I think. And so it would be really difficult for me to be in a succession of that. And my 50th class high school reunion is coming up in October, and I'm not going. And I'm unable to go. And so I won't miss the food event, the cocktail event, the appetizer event, the brunch, the dinner, the. It's just, I know it's too much for me. I've just become, I think that's one part about keto. It's kind of isolating that way. And if you're serious enough about your food addiction and it's under control finally with keto, you don't want to put yourself in that harm's way with all the food events. I guess because my addiction would kick right in. I mean, I've told you like how many times I've been to these food events. I don't see people's faces. I see what's on the table or on the grill. And it's a battle. It is. And since I've been able to control it and contain it with the keto food plan and the OMAD, definitely, I think it would be really a challenge to be around it. So if your situation is like that, ask for help. Ask for people to help you. Sign up for my keto coaching. It's ketocoachingsarah.com to contain you, maybe like a couple of weeks before the event and a couple of weeks after, to process like how it was for you and the emotions and the things like that. It's a serious thing, being triggered and being emotional about food and having that addiction and getting some momentum into dealing with your food issues. And then suddenly you're presented with the, pentultimate, food day after day after day, 3, 4, 5 days of it. And it's difficult. As you can tell, I'm feeling really passionate about it. And I don't want to see you have the struggles. If you can somehow get patched up and, fortified to go to these events or to clean up after, like the Messy Monday would indicate. So please take care of yourself. If not, reach out before, during, after. I've had many a bathroom talk, at these events where I'm just so overwhelmed with the abundance of the foods that I can't have. And it's just really a touchy place to be. And I don't want to see you have the same struggles that I've had at these events if you can avoid it. And our keto community seems to be here. It's not the woman next door, the pal, the phone call away, like we've made it here. So I want you to be careful. I want you to be protected. And so it's time for me to end this video. If you do need help, ketocoachingsarah.com. I offer phone calls and email packages where I'm with you for 30 days, every day, all day, as needed, and things like that. But, food, if you're a card-carrying addict, you understand what I'm talking about. And this is a really tough season of struggling. I know it is, and I want to be of help. And so, air it here, True Confessional, or to prevent the True Confessional. So thank you so much for watching. This has been Sarah, Pearls of Wisdom and Food with Keto. Under 20, or in my case, under 15 or 10 total carbs. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye for now.